We learned some new things about the last post by Lord Belgrave about Ripple's NDAs and what they might mean for people who own XRP. We'll take this thing one step at a time. I now know some things I didn't know before. Let's look over this all together to get a better idea of what's going on. Stellar Rippler and X-Banker are both names for Ripple. One of Ripple's NDAs was just leaked by X-Banker, and now they're building with Trump. They are now working on the XRP exchange with Trump, BlackRock, and JP Morgan. This is going to blow your mind. Keep in mind that these are just guesses. All of a sudden, their strange moves make perfect sense. Let's start the thread. An ex-banker, using the name Lord Belgrave, said they had shared one of the NDAs with UBS. In addition to information that was already known, there is a shocking piece of information that talks about biometric identity tracking and says that something big is going on. This means that digital identity and global payment systems are finally coming together in a big way. And they're making some changes to this post. To go even deeper, Brad Garlinghouse has spoken out against states using technology to track who we are. At the time, most people thought he was just talking about CBDCs. However, Ripple had been working on something completely different that had to do with digital IDs and payments. Let me play this. Who owns your name and image? I'm afraid it's not me. It's not you. The fact that the government owns your name is interesting, though. Like, if you don't have a passport, a birth record, a driver's license, or whatever, you are not who you say you are. I don't know how things work in every country. The government has your name and address. While some of us might not agree with that, I see it as a fact. Also, one thing Ripple has tried to do is be realistic. In order to build a business and make the XRP environment successful, I may have to give up my philosophical view on something. Sometimes you just have to be realistic about the world. For blockchains to be useful, I love the idea of identity based on the blockchain. But you need to know who owns your identity. Let's look into this some more. This is the Brad Garlinghouse post. Then we go. In the meantime, XRP is quietly becoming a part of payments for healthcare. Logistics Health had stated that 6,500 pharmacies in the U.S. would use XRP ledger-based payment systems. These systems would allow for instant payments, compliance, and the global standard. This isn't just about money. It's a system for moving healthcare infos. So here's that information. More and more businesses are finding out how to save time, money, and get some drugs for less money by using digital assets like XRP in their systems. Digital entities are what Web3 is built on, and JP Morgan has already said so. It went even further at the World Economic Forum. The framework, digital IDs, compliance and tracking, healthcare, and supply lines are all laid out in their blockchain toolkit. Here is some of that information. It's on the screen if you want to read it. I'm not going to talk about it too much right now, JP Morgan and the World Economic Forum, but there are things to think about when creating trusted digital identities, like figuring out who the players are and what their roles are, making decisions about technology, making sure your digital identity system is ready for the future, defining and protecting identity data, process and governance, and decentralized identities. It also has this shot of Brad Garlinghouse with a bunch of central bankers. Don't forget that Ripple has a seat at the real table. In this picture, Brad Garlinghouse is standing with Christine Lagarde, who is at the IMF at the time. Now she is in charge of the European Central Bank, works for the IMF, SWIFT, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and even has former Ripple employees working for the IMF. Her name is Jess Cheng. Here's Brad. This is Ross Letkoff. You may remember this person. Brad and Ross are on stage together. Someone inquired if the IMF would hold digital assets in the sometime to come. He looked at Brad Garlinghouse and asked, I have a question for you. Do you want me to take it? Do you remember the whole thing? That was fun. Christine Lagarde, who works for the Monetary Authority of Singapore, is also here. Then there are people here from the IMF and SWIFT, right? A lot of well-known people. Like, this is what we talk about a lot on this channel. How many crypto companies and blockchain technology companies have you looked into? You must have been in the room for a while, right? There are people who have been here for years and people who just joined us. Consider some of your favorite cryptocurrencies. Have you ever seen the founder of that cryptocurrencies in a meeting like this? I don't think I can think of another company besides Ripple that has met with the powerful people in the banking system more alone. It just makes no sense to me. This is why I think a lot of people think XRP is the real standard for the world. That's why I've made it my life's work to understand all of this. I think it's a lot of fun to go over with you. I hope this material is useful to you. After that, here it is. It all points to one thing, the XRP ledger's DNA system. It wasn't a mistake that this person said DNA on-chain, BlackRock's old DNA ETF. Launched on July 4th, the same day that the United States gained its freedom and Trump signed a big, beautiful bill that cut spending on healthcare. For those of you who don't know about Trump's big, beautiful bill, it's meant to get rid of healthcare for a lot of Americans who depend on government help to get it. More reports need to be made. And because of this, some of these people will lose their health care. The top 20% did get tax cuts, but the bottom 80% will have to pay more and people will lose their health insurance. This bill has caused a lot of debate. We're sorry about that, but they say it has something to do with this. I had no idea about that. After that, these are some of the links it was making. On July 4th, President Trump signed the bill into law. The law should really be called One Big Beautiful Bill, but that official title was taken off of it during the Senate revision process. So the law doesn't have an official short name. People in the U.S. are having trouble with this, especially those who are losing their health insurance. Yes, that's part of it too. There are hospitals in rural places, and they can work because the government gives them money. Then, when you take away that money, the hospitals and the people who work there are gone. So if you live somewhere with only one hospital, say 50 miles away, and that hospital closes, that's bad, right? That's not going to work for you. You might want to just check that out as it happens. This is planned to happen in the following years. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you. It was never a mistake. On the XRP system, they've been quietly putting the tracks for it in place. Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill cuts money for healthcare. It was then the digital health tech environment came along. The same thing happened when BlackRock released XDNA on July 4th. JP Morgan kept pushing digital identity as well. As of the last post, Ripple hasn't been going after Africa by accident. Deals with Chipper Cash and Onafric, as well as growth in the MENA area. At the same time, DNA Protocol quietly joins labs in many African countries. Random event, and they're drawing attention to a few posts here. They are talking about Ripple's post to $30 billion in payments for RippleNet. In Africa, our 6th region, we're working together with MFS Africa and ODL. This page also talks about the DNA protocol in Kenya. It also talks about XDNA and a few other things. This is a report on XDNA labs in Kenya. That's it. I guess it all makes sense now. This is crazy. Some of this information was put in. I believe this is not the same thing I was seeing. Don't worry. I'll play this now. It sounds like David Schwartz is saying that retail acceptance hasn't happened yet. In fact, their goal is to get the banking institutions that serve all of the regular people to use blockchain technology. Then, people in shopping use blockchain technology through their bank without even realizing it. For example, cryptocurrency is a new set of tracks, or a new way to build money. Most people who shop in stores don't know how their bank works and probably won't care how it works in the future either. They only care that things work out well. The bank wants transfers to be quick and easy, and they want to come up with new ideas to keep up with the other fintech companies. Updating the back end of the financial system through these huge companies with billions of users is what Ripple is doing. This way, everyone can use the power of blockchain technology without having to be an expert in it. 10 or 20 years from now, I promise you that no one will be shopping at the store with a wallet that has a seed phrase on it and using that to pay for food. They are going to use technology called cryptocurrency. These things like the XRP system will be used. Things won't have changed for them, though. Things will look a lot alike from the front end. That makes cash flow. And I think Ripple has always taken the right method. Okay. For instance, someone in the US can send money to a family member in the Philippines without using Western Union or MoneyGram. Instead, they can buy a stable coin and send the money that way. When someone buys that stable coin through a digital wallet or exchange, it is sent directly to their wallet across a blockchain network. There, they can hold on to it, spend it, or swap it for a local currency. As blockchain wallets become more popular, all of your favorite apps like Twitter and Telegram will have their own wallets. This includes Apple, Android, Facebook, and all of the other apps you use. That means you should be able to send money to anyone in the world for almost nothing through any network in the world. From now on, that's how payments should be made. And the best thing about Ripple, XRP, and RLUSD is that they can all work with each other. This is the second video I've shown these guys. It looks like this guy is a comic from 20 years ago. He doesn't look like someone I know. Who is this person? Does this sound like something you know? Am I crazy to be out here on a boat by myself? Anyway, this says that the XRP system is being used to build the future right now. It will be the foundation for global payments, and not just a meme. That's a jab at Solana. Stablecoins like RLUSD, Chasecoin, and even JPM's token could use this to work with Swift more than ever. I'd like to play this and look something up with you in real time. Let's look at the two that, I don't remember if it was Tillman or Andrew who brought them up. XRP and Solana are two of the coins that are on there. A lot of cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Solana, and others, want to be the base layer that supports new ways to do business. Boy, does that sound good. But the truth is that everything is centralized when it comes to how markets work and how money moves. All of the work is done with private tools. Both XRP and Solana want to be a part of a new globalized system. XRP is more focused on payments, while Solana is more focused on trading. It will be worth a shit ton more than it is now if those things happen, and Solana makes trade of everything possible instead of just memes. The total market that can be reached by offering that as a base layer is big. When it comes to transfers and Swift, the same is true for XRP. And if XRP is used as the basis for stablecoins like RLUSD, Chasecoin, and JP Morgan coin, then it will be valuable. It won't happen if it doesn't. So it comes down to that word. I think Andrew used it, utility. They will be worth more if they can be used, if not on the screen. You could also talk about Ether in the same way, but in terms of tokenization. Okay, let me quickly show you this. In order to make things more clear, let's talk about how many Solana network deals are made with meme coins. Because the first thing that should come to mind when you hear the name Solana is, holy crap, there are a lot of scams and rugs on Solana. Up to 62% of Solana's total value is locked up in meme coins and trading sites like Pump Fund, which make it easy to make a lot of tokens and trade them. Now I'm going to say that Solana has been the only thing that has made the crypto market worse during all of these scams. They might have gone somewhere else if Solana didn't exist. But because a lot of makes it so easy for people to make tokens and then just rug, that's how it was made. You know, it's their job to go out and push a token for a week or two, making sure it has as much value as possible, right? That's what people do for a living right now. I would look around and say, let's go back at the end of this year. We're lost on Solana and joke coins in 2024 and 2025, and I promise you that the facts will blow your mind. We look around the world of cryptocurrencies and wonder why our best ones haven't made it to Fahala yet. Yes, we know that's getting close to the end of the year, but where is all the cash gone? Yes, it has gone to a few countries that are making a lot of scams on networks like Solana. This has to stop. This needs to get better. Since the Pump Fund in early 2025, over 11.9 million meme tokens have been made since the Solana start of meme coins. My question is, how many of these 12 million joke coins are still out there? 50 or 100? There is a 0.002% chance that you will win a lot of money on a slot machine game called Meme Coin. No one else is doing well. I just wanted to let you know that this page has some information about State Street. A new study combines the wave of wildly expanding fiscal policy with more and more mixed macroeconomic signals. These big steps forward are speeding up crypto rotation or making it harder to move into crypto. Oh my God. I've been running around like it's one of those days when everything is dark and you only have an hour to get here. You need to be there in an hour. I wanted to do a lot of things today but didn't have time, but that's okay. We're here. What does this have to do with crypto assets? Institutional capital is finding it easier to get into crypto markets thanks to legal progress like the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and spot ETF approvals, as well as policy alignment. Not just risky investments that will be held for a long time. We hope this happens right now so that these banks and other companies can buy XRP, Chainlink, and other things and hold on to them for a long time. In the short run, this is what could really send the market even higher, up to $8 to $10 trillion. And, of course, $100 trillion over the next 10 years in support from fiscal policy talks about the U.S. government's first spending to deal with monetary conditions, macro signal uncertainty with mixed signals in traditional markets, fears of slower GDP growth and inflation, and changing interest rates. Investors are moving their money from stocks and bonds to assets that aren't as popular because they want to diversify their portfolios and make more money. Bitcoin has had an average return of 55% over the last 10 years. Why do these organizations look forward to this? To connect the XRP ETF to a savings plan, why is this important? Spot ETF and token asset tokenization retirement plans allow companies to have more exposure, which is good for Ripple and XRP. Our individual investors can put XRP into regulated investment vehicles like 401ks and ETFs, as well as in their own profiles. As regulations become clearer, XRP's role as a fast, scalable settlement asset becomes more appealing to financial institutions that are moving toward on-chain infrastructure for payments, remittances, and tokenized banking. It talks about macro hedge, attraction, and the network effects of adoption. Let's talk about this. The important point is that many large banks are working with companies like Ripple, Chainlink, and Circle. This is the next step in the evolution of payments. Do you really want to be a part of it? How much of the new money scheme do you want to have? Keep in mind that crypto is still a very dangerous place where every day people are scammed. So be careful about who you talk to and how you talk to people online. Don't sell any of the random tokens that are sent to your wallet or give away your seed phrase. That could cause a huge loss. Also, don't believe anyone. In the crypto space, you should really not trust anyone. If someone texts you that they can help you, you should immediately think that they are a con artist. Think that everyone is, and you'll save a lot of money in the long run. Some of this information would have saved me a lot of money when I first started getting into crypto. Okay, guys, go home. If you want to learn about money, don't watch this video. This is only meant to be entertaining. That's not what I do for a living.